But the voices are becoming loud and clear that something needs to be done, and something needs to be done like yesterday. I was just reading around the history of the galamsey and how it has become so severe in the past couple of years, and actions that were taken by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, together with his Vice President, Alhaji Mahmudu Bawumia, and why we are where we are today. I'll start with the key stakeholders in this conversation. The number one key stakeholder in this conversation is the President, his actions or inactions. The number two major stakeholder for me would be the various government agencies, both the regulatory agencies that are supposed to ensure that we implement our laws strictly, and those who are found in breach of the laws are made to face the full rigors of the law. And we're talking about the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, the EPA, the Forestry Commission, the security agencies. Also next to them would be our traditional leaders, which we have seen a number of them distilled by the Asante-Hene, who were found to have been complicit in galamsey operations in their communities. Also would be the mining communities themselves, because no mining activity can happen in a community without the involvement of members of that community. What are their roles to play in order that we'll be able to stall the further degradation and destruction of our water bodies and our forests? There's also the security agencies, as well as the various experts who speak around these matters. In January, it was July 2017, that we woke up to the announcement that Operation Vanguard was going to be implemented. And by May 2021, so July 2017, Operation Vanguard began under the leadership of His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo. By May 2021, I read a report, Operation Vanguard suspended, all task forces have been disbanded. That was by the Minister of Land and Natural Resources, Abu Jinapo. Everybody is saying, today there's a report by the Shraj boss, Joseph Whittal, in an international interview where he says that President Akufo-Addo has been disappointing in his fight against corruption. The fact of the matter is that leadership counts for everything. And if you still want to engage in a certain comparative debate, as the unfortunate comments by the Member of Parliament made on the House that NDC destroyed our water bodies more than NPP, I'd just like to quote for us the interview that was granted by the Ghana Water Company executives around the Pra River intake area, where he told us that now our turbidity levels has reached 14,000 NTU. So I went to find out what NTU means. NTU means nephelometric turbidity units. That is the state of our current water, especially at River Pra. The raw water. I'm coming to that. Raw water turbidity is supposed to be around 200 NTU. From JM's time, we had reached 400 NTU. So within 8 years, from 400, we are at 14,000 NTU under the leadership of the president, who said he was going to put his presidency on the line to fight galamsey, who indeed went ahead to set up Operation Task Force and put his minister, Professor Frimpong Boateng, at the helm of affairs to lead the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, who published a report in June 27, 2020. And
just making some clarification for me. He's saying that by just the video he's seeing, he says the police could be police from Burkina Faso. Mm-hmm. Burkina Faso, but please let's not relent.
They have similar.
Yes, let's not relent at all, because So, well, he said it could be.
Yeah.
Look, like that's the video. That doesn't look like this is not a Ghana police officer.
No, this is not Ghana.
But the point I want to make is Burkina Faso and Ghana.
But we just don't need to believe
like,
because this is exactly what is happening.
Yeah.
This is the input output. This is the operation that is happening. These are the kingpins that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama said when he said that we cannot be jailing the lowest of the rank, you know, the fingerlings, where the real tilapia find their way out of this country with colossal sums of money. This was the thinking behind. We already have very congested prisons, and you want to go and arrest young people who are trying as a result of the failed, you know, economy and the fact that they can't get any proper job to do. And once you let people taste quick money, it becomes difficult, even at the risk of their own lives. We have seen how risky these galamsey pits are. We have seen how dangerous these waters are, and yet they are swimming in these waters. They are in these waters. There are all kinds of skin, you know, rashes and skin conditions. They are presenting to the hospital with all kinds of ailments. So this morning, as a nation, what are we willing to do? It is obvious that there's been further extreme, destruction of our water bodies in the past couple of years under His Excellency John Dramani, I beg your pardon, under His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama's approach to dealing with the matter is that we need to be able to deal with the kingpins, those who are really conflicted, those who have the power, who have the influence, and who are using their political influence. If you read Professor Frimpong Boateng's report, which report the Attorney General himself came to dismiss, this is the man you put at the helm of affairs to crack down on illegal mining and galamsey. He woke up one morning to tell the media that 500 excavators. You see, illegal mining is not a covert activity. It is truly an overt activity. You can't hide. They tell us that when you go to all of these mining communities, you would see excavators, mining equipment lined up on the streets of these communities, renting out to operators. It is not something you hide to do. It is done in plain daylight. So we can't pretend it's a covert activity. We are very much aware.
In convincing people that it's covert.
It is not covert. It is covert in as much as the real beneficial owners and managers of these things. But we were given inclinations in some of these reports. Names were mentioned by Professor Frimpong Boateng, you know, and the Attorney General comes to say that the report is just, in fact, there was a statement from the Office of the President. I wrote it somewhere. The government issued a statement and said that the report on illegal mining is a catalogue of grievances and hearsay. This was a statement that came from the Office of the Presidency. If it was hearsay, were the effects of galamsey not evidential enough? Did you not see that indeed people were in the forest reserves, clearing the forest reserves, mining illegally? Did you not see activities of mining going on in the report? So if you thought his report was hearsay, what happened to your own project, Operation Vanguard? So when you came back in 2021 to disband Operation Vanguard, what was your alternative response? You sent out 400 army personnel, put some around the River Pra to, you know, go and patrol that area, knowing very well that that could definitely not do anything. I think that the president has checked out on the galamsey fight. I think that he's checked out on so many things. I think that he can't wait to leave, you know, office and hand over to Baumia so that they will transfer the problems to him.
You know, my suspicion yes. Is that, for what I see today, all the task forces that were put around the river bodies and the galamsey sites to actually police and make sure people don't mind, we're doing the opposite. That's my suspicion.
No, some of the task force members were providing protection to the people engaged in it.
From what I see today.
So you cannot fight.
That's the result. Because what's happening today didn't start today. It started years ago where people were giving, now people had some power. They seem to have so much power to mine in our faces and tell you that we are polluting the water.
Yes, in his report, he said that, I think after 2017, there was a mad rush for license from the Minerals Commission. So I also hear the Mineral Commission boss, Mr. AC, right? That is his name, trying to make a case. But you see, where we are now, we cannot just make any case for any regulation of galamsey. We need to halt. And that's why His Excellency has announced that we will place a ban on all new mining activities, starting with forest reserves. We would amend the existing minerals and mining law to impose stiffer punishment on mining in water bodies, because this is our life. If there's, for anything at all, we must realize that the effects of galamsey, no matter how remote the area of its activity, would reach all of us, every corner of this country. It will come to our tables through the food we eat. It will come to our waters through the water, our tap water we no longer drink. I have children with very sensitive skins. When we even bath this bath water, sometimes they will itch a lot. All because apparently alum can no longer work, especially on River Pra. They've had to go for a different alternative, which is about 4 times, you know, the price of alum, which they used to use to clear, you know, this water. We are living on such a time bomb, and I am happy that even the moral voices have begun to speak out.
So listen to this. Galamsey poisoning Ghana. Experts and credible groups have warned that Ghana's food and water bodies may entirely have been poisoned and contaminated by the activities of galamsey. According to the Vice President of Ghana Medical Association, Professor Ernest York, the galamsey activities have gone to the extent that much of the foods available on the market today may be eventually contaminated due to illegal mining activities in the rural areas. So here he revealed that per research, members of the association, certain foods, products and livestock have been affected by these contaminants. Speaking to Joy News File on Saturday, he warned that all of the country is at risk and called for a collective effort to eradicate the menace. So there are tons of publications that suggest that it has gone beyond just the immediate environs of the galamsey. It is coming to town. In fact,
it has come to town. Annie, I just want to say that the Reverend Frimpong has been speaking. A few pastors have been speaking. They're actually even calling on pastors to wear red armbands and demonstrate. If it means going to the presidency, we should do that, because this is the only way we can get wielders of power who are not unselfish. Because it is obvious that this government is not committed to the fight against corruption. All they've done is to make excuses. The Ghana Medical Association has added its voice to the fray. They have given notification that within a week, if we don't hear some serious announcement, because we just need to stop and then look at resetting, not upgrading. How do you go and upgrade this situation? We need to stop. The galamsey situation is real testimony to the fact of why everything needs a reset in this country. And I just needed to add quickly that, you see, when a leader is not committed to a fight, the evidence is rife for all of us to see. This is the same reasons why a lot of Ghanaians believe in the Ejapadia document. This is the same reason. Why did you disband the task force? Why hasn't there been any action against reported members of the New Patriotic Party at the highest level involved in this galamsey activity? Why haven't you shown commitment? Why haven't you announced any new stringent measures to halt the decay? Why do we still hear members of government, ministers of state, heads of institutions try to say that let's tarry gently because the fact that they are illegal miners does not mean they are not legal miners? Look, some people may have legal licenses to operate, but the mining communities will tell you that they invest a lot of money in trying to build social licenses from the communities to operate. Without your social licenses, your mining endeavor is not sustainable. Let's not look at what faces us and still try to make excuses. We are not saying that we should do things haphazardly. We are saying that use the instrument of executive power, which executive power the president is wont to use as and when he pleases. Use the same instrument of executive power to halt any further licenses to mining in forest reserves until we understand what is happening. Use it to crack down and enforce a zero policy against mining on especially water bodies. They are even telling us that if we stopped all activities today, it would take decades to recover for these river bodies to regenerate to any, substantial purity levels. This is a major situation that portends huge insecurity, and our leaders must be ashamed for failing the good people of Ghana. They must immediately, if they are unable to come up with any brilliant solutions, immediately call a non-partisan, meeting of every stakeholder so that we'll all agree on what to do, and we'll all be held to the agreement by that, non-partisan group of emergency meeting.